The Silent Galaxy. Captain Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the Terran Colonial Federation's newest research station, her eyes fixed on the holographic display of the Milky Way. The familiar spiral arms glowed with a bitter irony, billions of stars, yet so few signs of life. After 3 centuries of space exploration, humanity had found nothing but echoes and shadows of what might have been. Another negative reading from the Sagittarius sector, Captain, Lieutenant Wong reported, his voice carrying the same weary resignation they'd all grown accustomed to. The automated probes found bacterial colonies on 2 planets, but nothing beyond early Cambrian equivalents. Sarah nodded, her reflection in the reinforced plasteel window overlaying the stars beyond. At 53, she'd spent more than half her life searching for other intelligent life. The station's AI, Aria, had analyzed millions of potential biosignatures, yet the results remained the same, they were alone. "Pull up the Storm Monolith's data again," she ordered, running her fingers through her graying hair. The holographic display shifted, showing the massive structures discovered on Primo 3. Standing nearly a kilometer tall, these twisted spires of an unknown metallic alloy had sparked hope when they were first discovered. Now, 20 years later, they were just another mystery in an ever-growing list of tantalizing but ultimately disappointing findings. Continued with rich detail about humanity's expansion, the development of the TCF, and the various mysteries found throughout the galaxy, building up to the development of the new drive system. The narrative weaves in personal stories of the key characters while establishing the lonely universe humanity inhabits. The section ends with the announcement of the Andromeda mission and Captain Chen's selection as its commander, setting up the next part of the story. The Leap Beyond. The Leaf Ericon hung in high orbit above New Terra, its 20-kilometer length catching the light of an alien sun. Captain Chen watched through the shuttle's viewport as they approached the massive vessel. Unlike the utilitarian designs of previous generation ships, the Leaf Ericon represented humanity's finest achievement in bioengineering and artificial intelligence integration. "Beautiful, isn't she?" Dr. Yuki Tanaka, the ship's lead xenobiologist, pressed her face against the viewport. At 32, she represented the new generation of scientists who had grown up knowing humanity's solitude in the galaxy. "Hard to believe we're actually doing this." The shuttle banked, giving them a view of the ship's distinctive profile. The Leaf Ericon's hull was a seamless blend of organic curves and geometric precision, its surface covered in a layer of biosynthetic material that could repair itself. The massive engines at the stern pulsed with a soft blue light, the antimatter containment fields visible as shimmering barriers. Squadron Leader Martinez, reporting for final inspection, a voice crackled over the comm. The military contingent had been a point of contention during the mission's planning phase. Some argued that armed forces had no place on a scientific expedition, while others pointed to the mysterious disappearances of previous exploration vessels in the Milky Way's outer rim. Sarah keyed her comm. "Proceed with the inspection, Squadron Leader. I want those jump drives triple-checked before we attempt the crossing." The shuttle docked in one of the Leaf Ericon's cavernous hangar bays. As Sarah floated through the zero-gravity corridor, she noted the unique design features that set this ship apart. The walls contained living tissue that processed carbon dioxide and produced oxygen, supplementing the mechanical life support systems. Neural interfaces were integrated throughout the ship, allowing the crew to interact directly with the vessel's AI. The narrative continues, detailing the final preparations, the emotional weight of leaving the Milky Way, and the personal stories of key crew members. It explores the revolutionary technology that makes the journey possible, including the bio-AI integration systems that allow for unprecedented control and monitoring of ship functions, the antimatter containment and production facilities that power the massive engines, the jump drive technology that will attempt to bridge the gap between galaxies, the social structure of a city-sized ship preparing for a journey into absolute unknown. The section builds tension as the launch approaches, culminating in the first-ever attempted jump between galaxies. "All stations, report status," Sarah commanded from the bridge, her hands resting on the neural interface panels. The responses came in rapid succession: engineering ready, medical ready, sciences ready, military ready. The ship's AI merged with her consciousness through the neural link, providing real-time data from every system. Jump drive spooling up, the chief engineer reported. Antimatter injection at optimal levels. Biosystems report green across all sectors. Sarah took a deep breath, feeling the weight of history on her shoulders. Begin the jump sequence. Next stop, Andromeda. The massive engines flared to life, and reality itself seemed to bend around the ship. As the Leaf Ericon prepared to make its historic leap, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't just leaving their galaxy behind, they were leaving behind everything they thought they knew about their place in the universe. The stars stretched into lines, then vanished altogether as the jump drive engaged. The Leaf Ericon, carrying the hopes and dreams of humanity, disappeared from the Milky Way in a flash of quantum fire, beginning its journey into the unknown. First Contact's shadow. The transition between galaxies took 37 days. When the Leaf Ericon emerged from jump space, the crew's first view wasn't of Andromeda's spiral arms, but of a graveyard. Multiple contacts, Lieutenant Wong announced, his voice tight. Debris field extending approximately 3 million kilometers. Composition, artificial. Sarah stood from her command chair, approaching the main viewport. The holographic overlay highlighted hundreds of objects, some as small as satellites, others as large as cities. All dead. All silent. Dr. Tanaka, prepare a research team. Squadron Leader Martinez, I want a defensive perimeter established. We're not taking any chances. Sarah turned to her XO, Commander James Rodriguez. Status of the ship. Jump drive is offline, expected cooldown period of 72 hours. Biosystems reporting nominal function, though there's some strain showing in sectors 7 through 12. Nothing critical. The first recovery mission launched within hours. Sarah watched from the bridge as 3 shuttles approached what appeared to be an intact space station. The structure was elegant, all sweeping curves and crystalline surfaces, nothing like the practical designs favored by human engineers. Dr. Tanaka's voice crackled over the comm, Captain, you need to see this. Patching through visual feed. The holographic display shifted, showing the interior of the alien station. Corridors designed for beings clearly different from humans curved in mathematically perfect spirals. But it was the writing on the walls that caught Sarah's attention, not because she could read it, but because of what was written over it. In perfectly legible English, they are coming. The narrative continues, following multiple plot threads. The exploration teams discover more abandoned stations and ships, each showing signs of rapid evacuation. Xenobiologists study recovered alien technology, revealing a civilization far more advanced than humanity. Military teams find evidence of weapons being used, but not of conventional warfare. The ship's AI begins detecting patterns in the abandoned station's positioning. Strange signals begin appearing at the edge of their sensor range. The section builds tension as they piece together clues about what happened to this region of Andromeda. Play it again, Sarah ordered, standing in the ship's main laboratory. The holographic display showed a recovered data crystal, its contents partially decoded by their AI. The alien recording flickered to life. Though the beings were distinctly non-human, their bodies seeming to flow like liquid mercury, their terror was unmistakable. The translation matrix struggled with their language, but fragments came through. They found us again. The silence spreads. Cannot hide from. The recording ended with a burst of static. Dr. Tanaka pointed to a timeline sheet constructed. Captain, every installation we've found was abandoned within the same 3-month period. Something swept through this region of space, and whatever it was, it caused an advanced civilization to run. Sarah was about to respond and the ship's AI interrupted. Captain, sensors are detecting an active power signature. Distance, 2.3 light-years. It matches the pattern of the abandoned stations, but this one's still running. Looking at the coordinates, Sarah felt a chill. Unlike the random distribution of the other sites, this one was positioned exactly at the center of the debris field. Plot a course, she ordered. But keep the jump drive spooled for emergency evacuation. Whatever happened here, we might be about to find out why. The Leaf Ericon moved cautiously through the debris field, its bioengineered hull adjusting to deflect the countless pieces of ancient technology that had become a sea of artificial asteroids. As they approached the active signal, Sarah couldn't shake the feeling that they weren't just following breadcrumbs, they were being led. Commander Rodriguez voiced what everyone was thinking, "Captain, what if we're not the first ones to follow this trail?" The answer to that question would change everything they thought they knew about the emptiness of their own galaxy, and the true nature of what they'd found in Andromeda. The living truth. The active station grew larger in their viewport, a structure that defied conventional geometry. Unlike the other abandoned sites, this one pulsed with bioluminescent light, its crystalline surfaces refracting patterns that seemed almost hypnotic. "Biosigns detected," Dr. Tanaka reported, her voice tight with excitement. "Multiple species, and Captain, they're moving purposefully. This isn't just an automated system running on backup power. Someone's home." Sarah studied the tactical display. Squadron Leader Martinez had positioned their combat drones in a defensive screen around the Leaf Ericon, but something about the station's design suggested that if its inhabitants wanted to harm them, conventional defenses would mean little. "Incoming transmission," Lieutenant Wong announced. Well, you need to hear this yourself, Captain." The bridge speakers crackled to life, and a voice spoke in perfect, unaccented English. "Children of Terra, you have finally arrived. We've been waiting a very long time." Sarah exchanged glances with her bridge crew before responding. "This is Captain Sarah Chen of the Leaf Ericon. We're representatives of the Terran Colonial Federation. May we ask who we're speaking with?" "Names are difficult," the voice replied. "Your kind might call us the archivists. We are what remains of those who chose to stay and watch. Please, dock at the indicated berth. There are things you need to understand about both our galaxies." The narrative continues, following several intense sequences. The boarding parties journey through the living station, where they discover it's partially organic. Meeting the archivists, revealed to be composite beings of multiple species who chose to merge their consciousness. The revelation of a terrible truth about intelligent life and its role in the universe. The discovery of why the Milky Way is empty, and what that emptiness really means. The connection between the abandoned stations and humanity's destiny. The archivist led them into what could only be described as a living library. The walls themselves seemed to breathe, displaying three-dimensional images of countless civilizations, all now vanished. "You must understand," the being said, its form shifting between different species as it spoke, "that what you call the emptiness is not natural. The Milky Way was once as rich with life as Andromeda. But there are forces in this universe that see intelligent life as an infection to be cured." Dr. Tanaka stepped forward. "The evidence we found, the abandoned stations, the warnings." "Yes," the archivist confirmed. "They are called the silencers. They believe consciousness itself is a cosmic error, a flaw in the universe's design. They move from galaxy to galaxy, systematically eliminating any species that reaches a certain level of development." "But our galaxy," Sarah interjected. "Why is it so empty?" The archivist's form solidified into something almost human-like. "Because it was quarantined. The civilizations you found traces of, the builders of the storm monoliths, the geometers of Yukian, they didn't vanish. They fled. And then they sealed the Milky Way off, making it appear dead and empty." Commander Rodriguez's face paled. "To protect us?" "No," the archivist said softly. "To protect themselves from what you would become. You see, humanity is unique. You arose in a galaxy that was artificially emptied, evolved without any contact or influence from other civilizations. You developed in isolation, shaped by an emptiness that should never have existed. And in doing so, you became something new. The archivist gestured, and the living walls displayed images of human history, their wars, their triumphs, their relentless drive to expand and explore. The silencers cannot track what they cannot comprehend. Your patterns of development, your thought processes, your very nature, it's alien even to those who hunt aliens. You are the first species to arise in engineered isolation, and you may be the last hope for intelligent life in both galaxies. Sarah felt the weight of this revelation settling onto her shoulders. The signals that led us here were left by those who knew you would one day come. The question now is, what will you do with this knowledge? The silencers are returning to Andromeda, and this time, they know something is different. They can sense an anomaly in their perfect pattern of extinction. The walls of the living library pulsed with urgent light, and new data streams began flowing across their surfaces. We don't have much time, the archivist said. You must make a choice, children of Terra. Will you run back to your quarantined galaxy? Or will you stand and face what comes? Deep in the station, something began to hum, a sound that seemed to resonate with the very fabric of space itself. The time for humanity to prove its worth had come. Bridge between galaxies. The Leaf Ericon's bridge hummed with tension as Captain Chen addressed her crew through the ship-wide neural network. The bio-AI integration systems amplified her thoughts, letting each crew member feel the weight of her decision. We didn't cross the void between galaxies to run, she declared. Humanity has spent centuries thinking we were alone. Now we know the truth, we're not alone, we're the survivors. The ones who evolved in darkness. The ones they never saw coming. Dr. Tanaka's team had already begun integrating the archivist's data into their systems. The living walls of their ship pulsed with new patterns as it absorbed knowledge spanning millions of years. Multiple quantum disturbances detected, Lieutenant Wong reported. The archivist was right, they're coming. Squadron Leader Martinez stepped forward, neural interfaces glowing. The combat drones are ready, Captain, but against beings that hunt civilizations, conventional warfare won't be enough. No, Sarah agreed. But we're not fighting conventionally. The narrative builds through several critical sequences. The revelation that humanity's bio-AI integration technology is completely foreign to the silencer's understanding. The discovery that the Leaf Ericon's living hull can be adapted using the archivist's knowledge. The implementation of a desperate plan that could either save both galaxies or doom them both. The true purpose of humanity's unique development in isolation. The final confrontation that will determine the fate of consciousness itself. The silencers emerged from quantum space like tears in reality, vast, geometric shapes that defied physics, each one large enough to engulf planets. They moved with perfect precision, their very presence causing normal matter to shudder. But Sarah smiled. Execute Protocol Lazarus, she commanded. The Leaf Ericon's hull began to change. The biosynthetic material that covered it started spreading, growing, evolving. The archivist's knowledge, combined with humanity's unique approach to bio-AI integration, created something entirely new. They hunt patterns they understand, Commander Rodriguez said, watching as their ship transformed. So let's show them something they've never seen before. The silencers struck first, sending waves of anti-consciousness energy that had wiped out countless civilizations before. But the Leaf Ericon's transformed hull didn't just resist, it absorbed, adapted, evolved. Dr. Tanaka's voice was filled with wonder as she monitored the readings. Captain, we're not just fighting them, we're changing them. Our hybrid technology, it's infecting their perfection. The space around them warped as the silencers tried to isolate and destroy this incomprehensible threat. But humanity's gift was chaos, innovation born of isolation. Each attack only made their defensive system stronger, more unpredictable. We are the bridge, Sarah declared, fully connecting to the ship's evolved systems. Not just between galaxies, but between what was and what could be. The Leaf Ericon's transformed hull now extended for thousands of kilometers, a living network of humanity's technology and the ancient knowledge of countless civilizations. It formed patterns that even the silencers couldn't process, the perfect order they sought to impose on the universe shattered by the beautiful chaos of human evolution. Deep in the ship's core, the jump drive spooled up one final time. But this activation was different, it wasn't to flee, but to connect. To bridge not just space, but understanding. They sought to silence consciousness, Sarah said, her voice resonating through both physical and quantum space. Instead, they'll become part of it. The jump drive activated, but instead of moving the ship, it created a quantum resonance that spread through both the silencers and space itself. The very forces that had hunted consciousness for eons found themselves being transformed by the thing they feared most: change, evolution, chaos. As the light faded and space normalized, the silencers remained. But they were different now, changed, awakened. The perfect geometric shapes had become organic, living things. The hunters had become part of the hunted. The archivist's voice came through one final time: "You have done what we hoped, children of Terra. You have broken the cycle not through destruction, but through transformation. The emptiness will be empty no more." Sarah looked out at the changed space before them, where the transformed silencers now moved in patterns that spoke of consciousness rather than silence. The bridge between galaxies had become a bridge between forms of existence itself. "Send word to Earth," she commanded. "Tell them it's time for humanity to meet its neighbors. All of them. The age of emptiness is over." The Leaf Ericon turned, its evolved hull shimmering with new life, ready to lead humanity into an age where consciousness would flourish in all its beautiful, chaotic forms. The silence had been broken, and the universe would never be the same. End.